Hey everybody, this is Steven GetMoneyMyrick, and I am bringing you a Fantasy Strike Beginner's Guide. Before I get into my guide, there's something I want to say, which is this game is free to play, which means if you find anything I'm saying interesting at all, there's no harm in just going out there and downloading the game. There is a core pack for $19.99 that you can purchase, as well as some more expensive packs and a lot of visual add-on items. The core pack gets you access to different modes, but if you're interested in just practicing and playing some ranked matches, you can play this game completely free to play. It's also cross-platform. It's available on PS4, on Steam, and on the Switch. So if you want to play with your buddies, you can connect to them and have a great time. So I'm going to be honest, one of the things I struggled with was if this game even needed a beginner's guide. The game does such a good job of introducing you to some of their characters and their mechanics that I wasn't even sure if it made sense for me to do something. I did want to go ahead and put something out there in case having in my words helps you understand some of the concepts a little better. But this game does a great job for beginners and getting them brought up to speed on what to expect from this game. So the first way it does that is by introducing you to a tutorial mode. The tutorial mode launches immediately when you get in the game. It's also available later if you want to run through it again. And it goes through the concepts of movement, how to block, how to do specials, how to do basic attacks. And it also breaks down some of the mechanics that are a little different between this game and other fighting games. There are also character videos for every character in the game. And they're just short little, 3 to 6 minute videos explaining the breakdown of every character, what they're good at, what they're trying to do. So those videos are very helpful. I've watched all of them to get an idea of the characters I'm playing as well as the characters I'm playing against and what they're capable of. That may be a starting point for you if you're new to the game and you want to see what each character can do. Or you may be interested in just trying out all the characters first and then going back and looking at your characters to figure out more about them. Speaking of characters, there are only 10 characters in this game. And while having a lot of characters can make for an interesting fighting game, having a few characters can really allow you to learn your matchups and learn about the characters you're playing against. The game does a good job of breaking down the characters into traditional fighting game archetypes. So it shows if they're a zoner, if they're a rushdown, if they're a grappler, or if they're a wild card, which would be characters that don't meet that traditional type. And then each of those 10 characters have a very simplified moveset. So a big turnoff for a lot of people about fighting games are the really complex inputs. Personally, as somebody that plays fighting games a lot, I love knowing, how difficult a combo can be to pull off, and that gets me really excited. But there is a beauty to just having easy to handle executions. So in this game, throwing a fireball is just pushing a button. Doing a cool special attack is just pushing a button. The regular attacks, you can only do neutral. You can press forward in a regular attack or back in a regular attack. And you only have 2 special buttons, one that you can do in the air and one that you can do on the ground. And all characters fit this mode. So you're not burdened with a bunch of extra moves that you don't really need to know how to do. And again, going back to that matchup knowledge, there's only so many moves that the characters you're playing against can do against you. So it really allows you to focus on the true elements of fighting games, which are reading your opponent and understanding the matchup and identifying when you can go in, when you're safe, and when you're not safe. Along with getting rid of difficult inputs, the game also has gotten rid of high and low blocking. So a lot of fighting games, it'll matter whether you're blocking high or whether you're blocking low. You'll have to crouch to block a low kick or be standing up to block somebody that's jumping in at you. This game just only has holding back to block. You can't even crouch at all. So it's basically if you know that this person's going to go for an attack against you, you can block it. They do keep cross-ups within the game, which is where you have to switch the direction you're blocking. If they're going to land on the other side of you or hit you on the back side, you need to switch the direction you're blocking, but there's no high or low blocking at all. By getting rid of the difficult inputs and difficult different types of blocks, the game really boils down to the traditional fighting game mechanics, which are you can throw in order to beat somebody that's blocking, you can block to beat somebody that's attacking, and you can Yomi counter somebody that's going to throw you. This Yomi counter is something that's unique to Fantasy Strike. Usually if you know somebody's going to throw you, You can either step back and punch them with an attack, or you can also do what's called a throw tech, where you throw at the same time they do, and you guys just kind of break apart. But this Yomi counter allows you, if you know you're going to get thrown, you can take your hands off of the stick completely. It's just a hard read of this guy's going to throw me, so you don't press anything. And what happens is you'll actually attack them and punish them, and you'll get a full super meter for it. So it's really diving into that rock, paper, scissors game of throw, block, attacks, and Yomis. There are a few other ways that the game really helps beginners. One of them that I love is whenever you're doing attack in certain modes, there will be a blue indication on the attacks or a red indication, and the size of those indicators will determine how safe or how unsafe those attacks are. So if you have a big blue indicator, that means the move you're doing is really safe, which tells you that you have advantage on your next attacks, and so you can kind of pressure the opponent more. Whereas if you do something and it ends with a big red attack, that means you're unsafe and you can be punished. And so that's a good visual indicator for new players to know, okay, is this safe, is this not safe? Along with visual indicators, which is something this game does excellent, is there is an invulnerability indicator. So you get a white border around your body. Here we see Grave doing his super, and you can follow and see how he turns white while he's doing his super. That means he's completely invulnerable while he's doing that. So any character, when they're glowing white, you'll know they're invulnerable to attacks. So some can do it for long periods of time, some just for a short period of time. Additionally, characters will glow yellow if they're going to do a special throw that you can jump out of. They'll glow green if they're going to do a counter, which means don't attack them while they're glowing green, otherwise they're going to hit you. And finally, there's a jumpable indicator, which will tell you that you can jump out of this move in order to avoid it. So this game really excels at the visual indicators. Love how they do that for new players. Makes it very obvious what's going on within the game state. The other thing is that within training mode, they have the frame data in the top left corner, so you can see what your moves are doing, if they're safe or unsafe. This is going to be a little too much for most beginners, but as you explore the game a little bit more, it'll be really helpful to know just how safe or unsafe what you're doing is, and allow you to know what can be comboed. The final thing I wanted to mention about this game is that it uses rollback netcode instead of delay-based netcode. Rollback netcode is the best form of connecting for fighting games. It leads to the best game states. I'm not an expert on it. There's lots of videos and guides out there if you want to know the exact difference. But the fact that this game is using rollback means that it's going to have a very healthy online community that can do tournaments with integrity. So rollback netcode is a great thing to have in a free-to-play game. So that's everything I wanted to cover about this game. If you're interested in finding out more, you can visit the Fantasy Strike website. I'll link that in the description. They go through a lot of the same things that I went through. But again, this game is free to play, so there's no reason you shouldn't just download it, give it a shot. I'll be uploading probably some character guides in the future, a few of my tournament results, but I just really wanted to give the beginning guide of why you should look at this game and understanding a few things of what you should do right when you jump in. I'll see y'all later. Bye.